Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Mouse Minds here. We are live streaming for you on all your favorite streaming platforms, whether that be YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We are streaming on those platforms for you every Tuesday, if I can remember, at 8:30 here on your favorite streaming platform, and we want to thank everyone that joins in and tunes into our streams after the fact as well as our podcast, which is posted every week at 5 p.m. on your favorite podcasting platform. So we definitely want to thank you for joining us for our show here, and we are glad to be with you this week. It's going to be me and Michael this week. We can't wait to have Luella back on because Luella just was in Orlando and she went to Epic Universe for the week. And I'm excited to hear all about her trip to Epic and her trip to the parks on the East Coast because she's a West Coast person. So it'll be nice to hear her and from her thoughts as well on the parks on this coast too. So I'm very excited to have her back next week. And of course, we like to have Lisa back on to chat as well. But it's going to be me and Michael this week, and we are excited to have you guys here with us live on the show this week. And Michael, is there anything you wanted to say to everyone before we get started here?
No, just enjoying the nicer weather finally out here in what's supposed to be sunny Florida. And we have, I was seeing pictures of the flower and garden beds being planted and how they changed it overnight from just dirt to plants. And the first thing that went through my head was, thank goodness they did it now and not 2 weeks ago, because they would have lost everything and they would have had to start over.
Yeah, I have plants in my backyard that are definitely affected by the cold. I was really shocked how affected the whole. I had a whole section of my backyard just go brown. So I'm hoping that it once it warms up a little bit, maybe they'll revive, or we'll see what happens. But they're pretty resilient plants, so we'll see what happens back there. But yeah, so we are here live for you streaming this week. Now, one of the things that was brought to my attention this week that I have noticed myself too. If you look at prices for this summer for the Disney parks, if you look at resort prices, you'll see that things are really low. You can get into a room rate for, let's say, an All-Stars for like $100 a night, like $105 a night, which honestly is, Holiday Inn prices. That's your standard, hotel, motel. Those are the prices. There's hotels around the area that probably cost more than that. Like a Fairfield Inn or something probably costs more than what Disney is charging for a night's stay. Even Grand Floridian was around $600, which is extremely low for a Grand Floridian, for a monorail resort, nonetheless. And it got me thinking about travel and the travel industry and travel in Florida. And I think that one of the things that we've really noticed, although it maybe has not been reported on, but you'll see, if you look, there's been a lot of discounts for Florida residents during the summertime. There's been a lot of discounts. When I say discounts, I mean in the sense of, they've been doing the 4-day pass to Walt Disney World for Florida residents for like $199 or something like that. So there's been a lot of discounts for that. And then there's been a lot of discounts all across the board for people to come to Orlando during the summer. And I've personally noticed the parks have been a lot emptier than they normally are during the summer. I noticed, especially on 4th of July, the last few 4th of Julys have been really, really, really empty. And it's been interesting to see, that kind of play out. And it's been like the last 2 or 3 4th of July's that I've really noticed that the attendance has been really down. For a holiday that was usually, the park was usually very packed, we're starting to see attendance go down there as well. So it got me thinking about, what does travel in 2026 look like? And I've taken some notes here, and just from what I've seen from myself working in the travel industry or the tourism industry in Orlando, kind of some of the things that I've seen, and what others have reported too. And, as much as, there was a time when Disney was, there's always been options when it comes to Orlando, but people kind of chose their sides. They kind of chose Disney or Universal. Or for that matter of fact, maybe they come to go to SeaWorld. But we're seeing a shift in the way that people travel, because now they're adding Universal to their plans. They're doing split trips. They're doing stays where they, maybe stay part of the time at Disney and part of the time at Universal. We're also seeing a lot more trips where guests are staying at multiple Disney resorts. We're seeing people staying at, maybe 2 nights at the Grand and then 2 nights at a value resort. So there's a lot of change when it comes to the how people travel. It's not just like it was, years ago, where people just came out for a week and spent a full week in Orlando and traveled and spent, X amount of days in the parks, had a pool day, had a Disney Springs day, and then kind of called it a trip. That's kind of changing. And, I wanted to get our thoughts on that, and kind of see what you think, Michael, what you think about that as well. Do you have any thoughts to kick us off?
No, I'm still seeing a lot of people, and maybe they just, I don't know if they haven't looked, or maybe the prices weren't available at the time. I'm still seeing a lot of people on Facebook and different Disney groups asking for alternate recommendations, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
Disney Springs area. So if those
Mm-hmm.
were sometimes considered more affordable, I wonder what those
Mm-hmm.
prices might wind up going down to if Disney is also dropping, because they can't afford to outprice any Disney resort
Yeah.
unless the weekend, if the All Stars are booked, you're not staying at the All Stars. If all your budget Disney resorts, whatever they call
Mm-hmm.
if those are booked, there's nowhere to stay. And then rather than go and risk your life outside in Kissimmee somewhere, you're of course going to
Mm-hmm.
try to grab these Disney Springs area resorts.
Yeah. And
Free breakfast is something Disney doesn't offer. Free
mm-hmm.
transportation is, but it's still a little bit of a pain to get over to the parks from Disney Springs by bus, especially when it's not a regular bus like Disney runs.
Yeah. And that's definitely an area that I think a lot of people tend to overlook, because if I'm thinking correctly, even to this day, because I know they did, those resorts do still offer transportation to the other parks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big plus. But they offer more steady transportation to, say, the Walt Disney parks, because they're right there and they have kind of their own line that services all those properties and goes directly to the parks. But those are a great value add, if you've never stayed at those resorts before in the Disney Springs area, because 2 things. Number one, you know what you get for what you pay. There's some nice properties over there. The Lake Buena Vista property is now owned by the Lake Buena Vista resort is now owned by Hilton, and they own the Hilton property across the street. Both excellent stays. Great properties. Even the Hilton has a Benihana built into it. So there's some great dining options there. If you want to do that, you have the Drury Inn, which just opened down the street, replaced the Best Western, and that one has the free breakfast and free dinner, the free dinner option as well. So they have a buffet for breakfast and a buffet for dinner. It's not like a full dinner, but it's enough to be a meal. And then you have Renaissance just took over the old B Resort in the Disney Springs area. It's now a Renaissance property. So there's been a lot of renovations in there as well. So there are a lot of good. Then of course the Holiday Inn has been there. The Wyndham is right there. So there's a lot of good options in there. You got a DoubleTree there. There's a lot of good options in the area, and another huge. And I should have looked this up too, and I'll try to see if I can here. But another huge value property that I always look forward to and stayed at a lot was the Swan and Dolphin. I've stayed there tons of times because you have the boat access to Epcot. You have transportation, dedicated transportation, just like you would with Disney, constantly cycling to get to all the other parks. You're right there by Boardwalk. You can walk the Boardwalk. You can walk to Epcot. You can take the boat to Hollywood Studios. You can take the boat to Epcot. Everything is right there. You have, 8 restaurants on property. You have the Kimonos Karaoke Bar. I mean, there's a lot to do on that property. And honestly, when you and what you get at that property, you'd basically pay, for what it's about the same price usually as a moderate resort. And I think I would venture to say that you get deluxe level quality at those resorts, especially with the new Swan Reserve Tower. I've stayed at all of them, and they are fantastic. The Swan Reserve has excellent room service. And they have a nice little coffee bar, and of course they have the restaurant on top there. So there's a lot of great value in that property, and I'd be surprised to see what their summer rates are as well, because I mean that's an excellent stay.
Yeah, I never considered those as cheaper rooms, so I'm glad to hear that they're not overpriced. The only time we stayed in there, we have a family member who worked for the chain, so we were able to get an employee discount for that. But when looking for a resort to stay in, I never thought to look there otherwise. So if they're affordable,
yeah, so you can get in there starting around, it looks like. I mean, and of course, I haven't. This is like the average fee. I mean, for like a standard room, you can get in there starting around $300 per night, which is about the same as what you'd pay for a moderate.
Right.
And you get, the Dolphin is a little bit cheaper per night, but you get. I mean, I honestly say they're deluxe quality rooms. I mean, the property is deluxe quality. I mean, if I remember correctly, I don't remember. It's a Sheraton it's a Marriott property now, but I'm trying to remember what the two resorts. I forget what they are. One side is one and one side is the other. I don't know off the top of my head, but one of them is like a yeah. So they're both one is a Westin, the Swan is a Westin, and the Dolphin is a Sheraton. So they are good properties, and I would consider those deluxe properties. But I mean, to have that boat transportation right there, they have excellent dining on site. I mean, excellent, some of the best dining on site at Walt Disney World, to be honest with you. And then you have everything you need right there. Now, I don't know if they offer transportation to like Universal, they may. Um, um, but
I mean, all the,
as I
the other
mentioned,
bits like they charge for parking there
yeah, of
because
course.
it's not a Disney property, which is not big, but it's something you need to factor into the price. I
Mm,
don't think they have the hidden resort fees that the offsite places tend to, especially a
They
bit
do
away
have a
from
resort
Disney.
fee. They
Okay,
do have a resort fee, but they don't offer transportation to Universal. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, if you're gonna stay there, you're deep in Disney property, so you're probably
sure.
not planning to go to Universal. But they do offer transportation to all. And when I say there's a difference between offering transportation to Disney and then offering Disney level transportation, because there any type of resort or property outside of the Disney bubble is typically going to offer a pickup and drop off service. So, like if you stay at somewhere on iDrive, they're typically going to have something where they pick you up or drop you off at 10 in the morning at Magic Kingdom, and then the bus comes back again at night at 9 p.m. when the park closes and picks you up and takes you back. That's what a lot of the resorts in the Orlando area offer as far as transportation to the parks, which is that's a huge advantage for a Disney property, because now you can go, with the Disney level of transportation, you're looking at like every 15 minutes. You're having buses constantly cycling, taking you to all the parks, and especially with the boat and being able to walk and everything like that that makes a big difference. But yeah, that being able to come and go as you please is a big thing. But it looks like the the resorts at in the Disney Springs area do offer transportation to Universal as well. It's just like I said, it's going to be like the transportation that I mentioned. It's going to be like a one-time drop-off, and then let's say a pickup at night and something like that. But that's something they do offer. So if you are planning to go to Universal and you want to stay at Disney but also go to Universal, that's a great option, because they do. I know they have their own interior bus loop that takes you to and from the Disney parks, just like regular Disney level transportation, where maybe 15, 20 every 30 minutes there's a bus that'll take you back, versus dropping you off at 10 in the morning and then picking you back up at 8 o'clock at night or something like that. So that's a big difference there. But yeah, those the Swan and Dolphin is an excellent choice. I've enjoyed every stay that I've ever had there. It's a beautiful property. But the other big change that we're seeing is, like I said, people are shifting away from the full week-long vacations and taking more trips, but spreading it out. So we're having like more 3 or 4 day trips where people come down for like a quick visit. And then, kind of, because I think with Disney having stuff basically, or there's stuff going on in Orlando for every season, now, especially with Epcot. I mean, look at, like, you have Festival of the Arts now for winter, you have Flower and Garden for spring, you have Food and Wine for fall, and then you have Christmas stuff for winter. So you have something for a festival pretty much for every time of the year. And even Flower and Garden goes into summer, and then you have Food and Wine. They kind of meet together in summertime now. So having that, having that is, people are doing more trips but less days. That way they can experience all those different experiences in the parks itself. And you guys that are watching us live, feel free to comment. Let us know how you guys like to travel to the parks. I know it's different for us as locals because we travel, all the time to the parks. and we don't get to see the full spectrum of what or get to experience the full spectrum because we live here. But yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. I'm seeing more of a lot of like weekend trips, like a Friday to a Monday. Come in real quick, do a couple parks, head home, come back a couple months later, so on and so forth. Is that what you're kind of seeing too, Michael?
Yeah, I don't know if people will still give up because folks were always paying through the nose for these trips and you saved up. So I don't know if they're going to necessarily, especially the prices going down, I don't know if they're going to necessarily change over to a weekend trip, or is this going to give them an incentive to maybe add on an extra day or an extra night?
Yeah.
Where they might have only been coming for 5 days, maybe now we can stay till 6. And I don't know if they're doing, I haven't heard anything yet. It might be too early for that free dining promotion that they did at the end of last year that just ended. Maybe they'll do away with that if they're reducing the prices of the rooms. We have to see because there's a lot of, it's not just going to be we're doing one thing. The price of the room is going to impact across the board. So it might, especially now that food prices are going up and snack prices are going up. Let's see if they do have to offer the free dining. I'm sure they'll still do the free water park because I don't know if the water parks are getting the love that they had been with people just buying a ticket outright. If I'm going, I might only want to do the rides. I might not go to Disney to go to a water park. I might have one at home. So if you're going to offer me a free day, sure, that'll take some of the strain off the parks during the week. For one day, not a lot, but enough to just pull a few people out. And those are people that might not have been going to Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon.
And another thing that I've noticed too a lot with people too, and kind of on that same topic, taking a day out, is the fact that people are taking more time for the resorts. They're spending more time taking a resort day, exploring their resort that they're staying at, or not only that, just exploring other resorts, not doing a park day, saving money on a ticket and just spending a day exploring their own resort and enjoying the pool. So that's a big factor too. People want to have that time to relax, and I'm surprised. I thought people would have been doing this before, but people when they used to do their 1 year, like once a year trip, they try to jam in as much parks as they can, and now they're like actually taking time to relax and enjoy the resort and just sit by the pool for the day, which I've always been an advocate of this because the resorts have, you're paying, when you're paying the prices that you're paying for a Disney resort, it's no longer just a place to sleep. You got to get some value out of it because you're paying so much for it. And utilizing the facilities on site and things like that is a great way to do that.
Yeah, I never bought into that. And I think people are just trying to talk themselves into the budget resorts. It's just a place to stay. That's all it is. I just need a place to put my head. So do the people that are paying $1,000 to stay at the Grand Floridian. A resort is a resort. No one's not sleeping there. So, however they justify it, but I've gone over, with my car, and I will go visit the budgets, and I walk around. Usually it's just for the gift shop. I don't do too much exploring. I'll go check out the gift shop, see if they have anything cool, just to get over there, take a couple of pictures. Every resort has something awesome to see. So you're right. If you're not, if you're staying at the All-Star Movies, walk over to sports and walk over to music and just or ride the bus. There's no reason to just stay there. If you're staying at Art of Animation, take the walk over the bridge and go over to Pop. If those are the only things you do, or jump on the Skyliner. I love taking the Skyliner over to, I park at Hollywood Studios. I take the Skyliner one stop over, and then I do the loop. I walk through Caribbean Beach all the way around, come out of the Riviera, walk through the Riviera grounds, and then get back on the Skyliner and make my way back over to my car. just
Yeah.
instead of going into the parks for the day. It's a
Yeah.
lovely walk,
And with
it's
Skyliner,
good.
you can go to so many resorts now
Mm-hmm.
that it's it's almost ridiculous not to take advantage of that. And I mean, worst case scenario, let's say you weren't at a resort that had Skyliner, and you could either, uh, you know, get dropped off at Hollywood Studios and take the Skyliner from there, off of one of the Disney buses, and then take the Skyliner from there and go explore from there. If you want to go to a monorail resort and you're staying at a resort that is not, that is like a Skyliner resort, then you could go to Epcot and get the monorail there. So there are options to get you to and from all the different various resorts and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and there's not much to do on the boardwalk like there used to be, but I still enjoy that walk around, and then I'll hit the Swan and the Dolphin while I'm over there. You can visit 5 resorts, I guess, on that loop.
Yeah,
If my math's
Yeah.
right? 3 Disney plus the other 2. And you're contained. You can't get lost. You got the boat if you get tired, and then you've got the Skyliner right back there too. So lots and lots of options to explore over there as well. So I'm always been
and you could always
proponent.
and if you're staying in the Skyliner resort, you could, or let's say, depend. Well, you could get dropped off at Hollywood Studios and walk over. You get dropped off at Epcot and walk over. I mean, there's tons of options with the Skyliner resorts as far as where you can go, where you can get dropped off at, where you can start your exploring at, so on and so forth. So you have a lot of options. And Boardwalk is excellent. I mean, if you haven't just walked around Boardwalk, it's amazing. There's usually entertainment going on at night. There is, the different stands. There's the Blue Ribbon corn dogs there now. There's places to eat there now. The cake lady is there. The cake store there. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of that place. I've been there, but I can't remember the name of it. But there's a lot of things to do there as well, and also exploring the Swan and Dolphin. So yeah, you've got a lot of options when it comes to Boardwalk. I think a lot of people overlook the amount of stuff that is going on at Boardwalk too. Now, speaking back to something that you mentioned earlier, and this is something that I didn't even think of, but I have kind of noticed this myself in the parks, at least, is speaking over souvenirs. There's actually been a change where people are it's kind of showing that people are prioritizing more experiences over souvenirs. So people are spending less on souvenirs than they and spending that and taking that money and spending it more on experiences, things like a dessert party or a GO82 or dining, having doing more sit down options, things like that in the parks too. And this is something that I've personally noticed. I feel like more and more in the shops, I see a lot of things that go more and more to the outlets or go. I've even seen things on discount inside the actual shops themselves, because they're just sitting there on the shelves and people are not purchasing them. So the only thing that I consistently see that people buy, that Disney really hypes up, is the popcorn buckets, which I mean, some of them look amazing. I really like the new one they just released at California Adventure. That looks like the Ferris wheel. That one is a lot of fun, and it lights up to World of Color and does a whole light show with World of Color, which is a lot of fun. But that is one But popcorn buckets, I mean, the Figment buckets, they sell out of the Figment buckets every year. People go and buy tons of those. So things like that are doing very well. But like, I you know I don't see a lot of people buying the T-shirts, things like that. Other merch other than that, I mean, I don't see it, but it's not to say that people. I don't know about you, Michael, but I haven't seen it as much.
Seen any what now? I'm sorry. You haven't seen any
people buying merchandise in the parks versus and spending more money on experiences and dining and stuff like that.
Yeah, I still see folks with their bags and their they got their 5 kids walking, but the strollers that they have are just loaded up with merchandise. To me, unless I'm not going over there, I don't want to be carrying anything around the park. I'm going to go over to Disney Springs and I'll buy it there because I'm going to spend less time at Disney Springs than I am in the park. I've got a car. Every time I've gone to the parks, I have a car, and I always made it a point to get over to either one or both of the outlets. Never usually bought anything, but I would at least go look. For folks that are only here once a year, you're kind of at the mercy of what's available at that time. Really cool stuff might hit after the end of these festivals, but if you're not there in those few months, that stuff's going to be gone after Christmas. You can't go in August looking for stuff from the Christmas festivals. It's not going to be there. Yeah.
Well, that is true. And I think the time that happens the most not that it happens the most, but the time that I feel bad for people the most is especially now with Festival of the Arts, because I've literally seen people in the last few weeks that I've been there carrying these huge boxes with artwork that they probably spent a couple $100 on at minimum, walking around the park carrying this all day. People will get there at 10 a.m. They go and buy their artwork, and they're carrying this huge, I'm talking about giant dinosaur of a package that they're carrying around. And it's like, oh my gosh, you have to carry this around all day. So I have seen that too. I'm surprised. I don't know if I know Disney in the past has had options to have things brought to the front. I don't know how that works with Festival of the Arts when you buy art at a festival booth, because I know it was like one of those things where they bring it up like it wasn't guaranteed to be brought to the front until like 8 o'clock or something like that, like before the park closes. So maybe people are just holding on to it because they can't wait until 8. They might leave earlier, but having to carry that around even just for an hour is just crazy to me. And we're talking about giant boxes that just for $5 a minute would be, horrible to carry. And they're walking around the parks with these for most of their day.
I bought something for a buddy of mine who asked me to pick up a piece of art. And rather than deal with any of that nonsense, right away, I said, look, do me a favor. I need to have this shipped. I think it was like $10, $15, whatever it was. It goes by price, or at least it used to. They'll take care of it right there. You never touch it. This one is mine. They will box it. They will protect it, you hope. And hopefully it makes it back to your house safely. And if it doesn't, that's on Disney. I don't want to drag that on and then have the airline tell you, no, you have to check this, or there's no room. I'm not dealing with that nonsense.
Well, even for getting the hassle of carrying it on a plane, just getting it in your car and having it take, these are big boxes. We're talking about big, like wall portraits, having to fit that in your car too. It's going to take up a lot of space.
Those are the people that have the car. You got other people that are taking the bus back to their resort. They might not have a car available, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. What do you do with that afterwards? I don't know. I was like shocked seeing. I was shocked seeing these people, carry that stuff around the parks. It was shocking to me because it's like, oh my gosh, like I was just like I must have counted like at least 10 to 15 people I saw the last time I was there on a Saturday, and I'm like, that's just insane. Like, there's no way like you could walk it up to the front and have Disney hold it, like with a ticket or nothing. It's just, it is what it is. But hey, that's, I'm assuming these people are locals or they would have had it shipped. I mean, for $10 to $15, I mean, I would not even bat an eye. I would just have it shipped.
Some of the other problem is, these things, I'm sorry, they could be limited edition. And if there's only one or two, and you want it that badly, you're going to grab it. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it later, and I'll kick myself for it. But I don't want to miss out. I came here because this is my favorite character. You happen to have a really awesome print. I will take that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more you have coming or what else is available, but I want it.
Yeah.
And then I have to deal with how to get it home. But have it shipped, folks.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And then, so moving on from that, I want to talk about the next thing, which is, we'll talk about two things. First, let's go into this, and then I'll go into this last one, because the last one is kind of I think is a longer one. But like I mentioned earlier, food and food culture, food events, all these things are driving when people choose to travel to the parks. Now, this has been this way for a little while, but I think it's much more now, with having festivals all year round, and then having festivals at like the Food and Wine Classic at the Swan and Dolphin. So having those food festivals, those events, are driving when people are traveling to the parks. They're picking their, when they're going to go, and a lot of social media plays into that as well. I feel like, for example, like Blue Ribbon Corn Dog. Let's take that, for example, at the Boardwalk. Their big thing right now is the giant mozzarella stick. I mean, it's giant. It's like a foot long, more than that maybe, mozzarella stick. And, this thing has gone absolutely viral on TikTok. And I feel like these things are also driving people to go to the parks as well. They just recently had a salmon dog, where it was like salmon that was fried, not breaded, but battered and fried, and at the same Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs. And I think things like these are driving people, like they see this stuff and it's driving them to go to the parks as well, which is, we've never, at least, I mean, I've seen a little bit of that in the past, but now, so with TikTok and everything else, I think we're seeing it a lot more. People are coming out for these crazy off the rail, like food items. And if Disney said, hey, we're offering this amazing snack for the next like 3 months, I think people would say, hey, I got to get to the parks in the next 3 months and get this snack, which is crazy to think about, but I really think that they would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, the more these people get their news from TikTok or whatever, that's what they're looking for, because somebody else ate it, so I have to go get it too.
Not only that,
when things go viral like that.
Not only that, I mean, Disney Parks has a very great like TikTok presence, and they're very good at like posting these things on TikTok and getting you excited for it. And then that's how it starts. And then you see they post it, and then the influencers go down there, and the influencers have the item, and then more people see that, and they're like, oh, I got to get that because my favorite influencer had it and said it was amazing.
That's what I'm saying, right?
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason.
So that
somebody else was eating it, so I have to eat it.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely not wrong there. I think that's with a lot of things nowadays. But it's it's interesting to see, things used to be at Disney. I feel like things used to be, not recently, but a while ago, years ago, things used to be like, people had their set time of the year that they came to the parks. They came every year at their set time. They enjoyed the time of the year that they came. they enjoyed coming at fall, or they enjoyed Christmas, or they enjoyed Halloween at Disney, and they had all their events planned out. They knew exactly what they were going to do. They booked everything and did that. And now it's with social media, people are coming all throughout the year now and taking those multiple trips because they're seeing all these things, and they're like, why am I not a part of that? Why have I not experienced that? So
Sure.
it's interesting to see how that has changed over the years. And then, of course, the last one that I want to talk about here, which is a big one here, is I'll kind of do this in two parts, but it focuses around Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane is literally changing, and Lightning Lane in planning is changing how people do the parks entirely. I've seen not only just Lightning Lane, but I've seen services on top of Lightning Lane that you can purchase from a third party that'll tell you the best optimized plans to book your Lightning Lanes. I have a friend who's actually tried this, and it actually works. I don't remember the name of the service because I haven't tried it myself, but there is a service out there where you purchase Lightning Lane for the day, and then you purchase this service on top of it. I think it costs like $12 or $20 for the week or something like that. And basically, it tells you, okay, you have Lightning Lane. Here's your plan of attack. First, you need to start with this one. And then you need to go to this attraction, and so on and so forth. And, without it, you get on like 2, 3, 4 attractions. With it, you get on everything that Lightning Lane provides. And it's like and you're going on rides back to back to back to back to back. And you're not waiting in line because it has it like timed out to where you're not waiting in line. So that is very interesting to see that system in there as well. Because it's amazing how Lightning Lane has changed the way we do parks, and planning has changed the way we do parks. Because look at ADRs, as I was talking about last week, how I use a third-party app now to help me with my ADRs and tell me when dining reservations become available. Like this is the world we live in, where you have to, you have to plan out your entire trip, like what you're going to do almost down to the minute when you go to Disney anymore. And it used to not be like that. Used to just be able to go into the park. Maybe you grab a fast pass and you return later to an attraction. But other than that, you just kind of did your own thing and went to each ride and did all this stuff. And now you've got to plan everything out, because if you don't, someone else already has, and you're going to either be waiting in line or you're not going to get that reservation that you wanted.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed going back in the day when I didn't have to do any of that, and thank goodness now that it's come down to it. That now that I'm local, I don't have to worry about that anymore. If I don't get to ride something, I'll go on it next time. I'll go on it tomorrow. I'll go on it next month. If I can't get into this restaurant, I'll try another day. So I don't pay for Lightning Lanes. There's nothing I need to ride that badly, unless I have family coming to town, in which case, I'll buy it for them. But for me, I'm pretty good without it, so I'm okay.
It's just, I think about this a lot, and there's a lot of times where I go to the parks, like especially the other day when I went to GO82, and I experienced GO82, and I went into the parks for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I don't think I rode one attraction, and it's just because, is it worth it to me to wait? An hour. I mean, most of the rides were an hour, wait. Is it worth it for me? Did I want to wait an hour in line for something that I can normally do, on another day that's not an hour wait?
Right.
So I just prioritize just walking around the parks versus actually riding rides. And it's so different, because we used to just be able to go in the parks and ride attractions. But I mean, I don't know. It's just very, when I look back at those days where I just don't do any attractions, it feels so different. I don't know.
Yeah, there are days when I'll go and I will just walk the loop of Epcot, and then maybe I'll jump on Spaceship Earth if it's short. But even a 10-minute wait for that, I'm like, no, I'll come back, because there are days when it is completely deserted. And I can imagine, first thing in the morning, people who aren't running to Guardians or Test Track or Soarin', they may go on that if they have little kids, because it's right there in the front. There's no reason to wait an hour for that.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying a fast pass for it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I have no interest in that, and waiting an hour for that, and I don't know. I just don't. But that's just the way things are right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way that the parks work, and that's just that's what's going on right now. So you go to the parks with the expectation that there's a good chance that you're not going to get on a ride sometimes, and it's crazy to think about, but that's just.
And I wonder what Lightning Lane is going to look like for the summer too, if they're saying that if they're predicting that attendance is going to be down. Do you need to reduce that price too, or are you counting on people buying it anyway? So I don't know how that'll be impacted.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Lightning Lane. I mean, honestly, it's just, it's. I mean, I'll admit, like, if you go to, like, if you for Lightning Lane, like, if you go to Animal Kingdom and you buy Lightning Lane Animal Kingdom, then you can use that any other park. And the reason I use Animal Kingdom is because Animal Kingdom consistently has the cheapest Lightning Lane. Mm-hmm. So if you go in there, you can get Lightning Lane for $15-$20 a person. Okay, then let's say you add on the service on top of that I spoke of, and it's $20 to do that. And so, and that's, covers up to 6 people or something. But I think really it tells you where to go. So I don't think it even matters. Just say $20. So you're looking at, for one person, at most, $40. And it's just, for a day in the park where you already spend all this money on your ticket, that, even just an extra $5-$10 seems like a hassle. Seems like way too much, just because you've already spent your ticket money. Now but I don't know.
See, I can also see it the other way. Where if this is my very first, my one time a year, and I just spent tons of money to get into the park, I don't want to not be able to ride something. So for the extra money, I may pay for it just to know that I'm not just going to get in and walk around and do nothing.
True. That is very true.
Because it'd be terrible to take kids down there or your family and say, hey, we can't ride anything. Everything's a 3-hour wait.
Exactly. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know. But, it's just the way things are right now in the parks. It's just the way things are right now at Disney. And, it's just what we have to live in when it comes to the parks, because that's just what, that's what the parks look like. So I don't know.
We'll see. And I'm curious.
I will say, there are tools out there. That's what I'm very curious to see too. Because, attendance over the summer has been one of those things where it's like, it's definitely gone down a lot. So I'm curious to see what happens this summer, because I know, like I said, 4th of July has been just a ghost town the last 2 years.
Hmm.
which is crazy to think about, but it kind of has been. And I noticed, if you, like I said, if you look at the prices for summer, I've seen screenshots of some of the pricing for the resorts, and what you're paying per night is what you'd pay to stay at a, at a Holiday Inn at some of these places for the value resorts.
Sure.
So it's insane to me that, you know that's what the prices are. But, hey, you know
And hey,
I don't know.
back when I used to buy my pass, it was the one that
Mhm.
would block you out for the summer. You were
Yeah,
good through like early June, and then they didn't want to see you again until after Memorial Day. I mean, Labor Day.
yeah, yep,
And I never cared about the summer because it was always too darn hot. I'm having flashbacks of my parents
yeah,
dragging us
yeah.
down there because my mom was a
Mhm.
teacher and she was off for the summer. And we would always wait for the Florida kids to go back to school. And we'd be there sweltering in like August. But that's when we could go.
Yeah, and that's just not. I remember that too, because we had the seasonal. I mean, growing up, I had the seasonal pass, so I
Hmm.
get it. I get it 100%. But it's just one of those things that just, I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
Now, where did you
In
grow up?
a lot of summers, they've removed blackout dates. I
Yeah.
remember them removing blackout dates over the summer because there
See,
was
not
not
my
enough people in
weekends.
the
I will
parks.
still be blocked out weekends, but that's okay. Now, where did you grow
So,
up? Where are you from?
I grew up in Central Florida.
Oh, so you're okay. You're local,
Yeah, yeah.
not a transplant local like myself.
Oh, no, 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 no. I grew up in the area, so I grew up going to the parks. We didn't go all the time, but we went a lot. Well, I shouldn't say that. We did go a lot. So yeah. I mean, but things back then were, even, I mean, it just, things have changed. The parks have changed so much over the years. Um, it's just it's crazy to see. But in the last, like, I would say, since like maybe 2010, or since 2010 and on, that's when things started becoming more, everything. Getting your ticket into the park was not enough. There was always more add-ons being added, and more things being added that you could do on your stay. And then it culminated to what we have now, which with Lightning Lane and everything else that we have going on now. So, when it used to not be there, I mean, there was a time when you would go to the parks, and I mean, this obviously was before we had, smartphones, but you would go to the park, and you would get a reservation the day of.
Yeah.
You go to guest relations and get a reservation the day of. I remember they used to have a sign in front of guest relations at Epcot that says, "This is open, this is open, this is open, this is open," and it would tell you, and then you could go in the park, and then do it that way. So a lot of that has changed a lot, um, and that's just not something that we have anymore. You gotta plan. I mean, there are those places that you can do a wait list for now. That's kind of because we did have initially, like, you had to have an ADR, and now,
Hmm.
like, for places like Liberty Tree Tavern or something like that, you can get on a wait list, and you can go right up to the restaurant and get on a wait list and do that. So that is better, for that, but not every restaurant is like that. There's a lot of restaurants that aren't like that. I remember many years ago, back when Epcot had World Key kiosks. If
Yep.
any of you, I'm making myself sound really old, but if you remember what a World Key kiosk was, it was pretty much the first FaceTime. You would literally FaceTime with, or video chat with someone in Disney reservations, and you were connected right there, and you would make a reservation, and literally the only restaurant that didn't have reservations available, or that was hard to get into if you didn't get in before, say, 11, or didn't get in the park before 11 a.m. was Japan, was the hibachi in Japan. Everything else was wide open. You could go anywhere.
Sure.
So it's just not, and then of course it'd fill out throughout the day. People would pick where they want to go, and then there was always the running joke that no one wanted to eat in Morocco, and which I always thought Morocco was great, but and you could always get a reservation there. But that's just the way things are now, and things have changed entirely in the way people travel. It's so interesting to see the way that people are traveling now and how they're doing their Disney vacations and how they're traveling in general. And it's interesting to see because there are people that are prioritizing other destinations besides Orlando. They don't want to go to Orlando and Disney every year. They want to go somewhere else.
And I'm all for that.
Maybe that's another park.
Never be one of those people that only sees Disney in your own hometown. Stop only taking your kids to Disney. I get it. It's fun. There's a lot out there to see. Tons.
Exactly. And if you want to have that Disney experience, but still go somewhere else and still, have that, there's always Adventures by Disney where you can, they have curated travel plans, which some of them look pretty good, where you can have someone kind of show you around, have a Disney cast member show you around a city and have like a whole vacation planned out by Disney. So if that's something you love the Disney brand and you believe in the Disney brand a lot, then go with Adventures by Disney. They have some great packages too.
Sure.
But I think that's going to do it for this week's show. We're going to wrap it up here. We want to get Luella on next week so that way we can talk about her time here because she had an epic day at Epic Universe. So I want to hear about that because I want to hear about that myself personally. And she went to Magic Kingdom and the Disney parks too. So I'm excited to hear about that too. I don't think she went to all of them, but she went to a couple of them. So I'm excited to hear about that too. But I think that's going to do it for this week's show. Michael, did you have anything to add before we wrap this up?
Not at all. I'm excited for falling prices. So let's see what happens for the summer.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I've been looking at resorts, so maybe something will happen this summer. But I think that's going to do it for this week's show. We definitely appreciate all of you for joining us here and being with us this week and joining us every week at 8:30 on your favorite streaming platform, YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Mouse Minds on Facebook, Mouse Minds on Twitch, and Disney and Beyond on YouTube. And of course, you can also find us on your favorite podcasting platform, whether that be, Spotify podcast, Apple podcast, whatever that is. You can find us on there every Friday at 5 p.m. But that's going to do it for this week's show. As always, as I say, if you can dream it, you can do it. So get out there and do it. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.